Animated story script. Moses, King of Cush. Episode 2, Rise to Power. A solitary figure sitting in a small, stone-walled cell, a desert breeze gently stirring the dust outside. The soft sounds of distant wind and the occasional rattle of chains break the stillness. We see Moses, worn and ragged, his posture heavy with the weight of years spent in isolation. His hand rests on the rough stone wall as his eyes scan the distant horizon.
10 years. 10 years in this place, shackled, broken, forgotten. Before this, I was a ruler of men, a conqueror of nations. You only know of me as the Prince of Egypt.
Flashback. A grand throne room in Cush, a vibrant city. The streets are lively, the sun shines brightly over a golden land. Moses sits at the grand throne of Cush, wearing regal attire, his natural hair styled proudly, a crown upon his head. People gather in the courtyard below, cheering and chanting his name. A sense of respect and reverence surrounds him.
The land of Cush, the cradle of my kingdom. The people were numerous, their hearts loyal. I ruled them as their king, not out of blood, but out of duty. Cush had become my home.
Moses stands tall, making judgments, giving wise counsel. His stature is commanding yet compassionate. His leadership is unquestioned. The Great War. Battle preparations. The screen cuts to a military camp where Moses, in battle armor, stands alongside King Kikianus of Cush, who is preparing for war against the children of Aram in the east. Soldiers gather, sharpening weapons, packing supplies. The atmosphere is intense and strategic.
But being king wasn't just about sitting on a throne. It was about protecting my people, my kingdom. The war between Cush and the east raged on, and Kikianus, my king, sought to bring them to heel once more. I fought by his side, leading our armies to victory.
The betrayal of Balaam. Balaam, a man with sharp eyes and dark robes, standing on a balcony overlooking the city. He whispers to a crowd of discontented citizens, sowing the seeds of rebellion. The people nod in agreement, their eyes full of anger and fear.
But there was treachery in the air. Balaam, a magician of great cunning, rose up against Kikianus while he was away. With his enchantments and lies, he convinced the people to turn against the king, to lock the city and fortify their walls.
Siege of Cush. The siege begins. The people of the city raise strong walls at the corners, and the river bursts forth from its banks, flooding the land. Moses stands in disbelief as he watches the people he once served now barricade themselves in.
The city walls grew higher. The ditches were dug, serpents summoned to defend the gates. The people I had once ruled now turned against me, forced to choose between loyalty and fear. And as the siege dragged on, I knew the end was near.
Moses joins the forces of Kikianus. Back in the military camp, Kikianus returns victorious from the east, his army battered but triumphant. As the king approaches his city, he and his men look up in shock as they see the fortifications towering over them.
Kikianus returned, victorious over the east. But the city had changed. The walls were higher, the gates closed tight. Our enemies had prepared for our return. The tension rises as the king and his soldiers try to break through the gates, but Balaam's forces fight back fiercely. A battle ensues at the gates, and the scene shows the chaos as soldiers fall in a brutal confrontation.
Imagine a world where the warriors fight for the people, and a few decides to lock them out upon their victory, away from their wives and kids. The rebellion and rise of Moses. In the midst of the chaos, Moses, now a leader of men. The army of Kikianus looks to him, seeing in him a natural ruler. They lift their cloaks and place them at his feet in a gesture of loyalty. Moses stands tall, surprised but resolute. The sound of trumpets echoes as the people chant.
They made me king of Cush. In the place of Kikianus, they put me on a heap and gave me jewels and crowned me. The people saw my strength, my resolve. They saw a leader who could bring them peace or destroy them in their defiance. But mostly they saw the work of God through me. It was not me, but him from the start of my life. He chose me.
Moses, standing before the people, now a king with the crown upon his head. His face is calm, humble, and his eyes burning with the intensity of the Most High's will. King of Cush rise to power. The sands stretch endlessly, and the sky is painted with shades of purple and gold. In the distance, the towering walls of a great city loom. This is the land of Cush, a kingdom that once stood proud and strong under its former ruler, Kikianus. We zoom into a war-torn battlefield, blood-stained and littered with the remnants of battle. The winds blow softly, and the camera focuses on a figure standing atop a hill, looking down on the city below.
Before I was here, in this prison, I was a ruler, feared and respected. But my story, my real story, began in the land of Cush, where I became a king at 27, after a siege that would change everything.
Please like and subscribe for more content. The story was brought to you by the Book of Jasher. Chapter 72. We hope this inspired you spiritually. Stay tuned for Moses' battle against the snake people in this season of The Real Moses Story. We will also bring other stories as well. Please like, subscribe, and comment for any other stories you would like to see.